Hello everyone, beautiful and amazing people. Yeah, thank you for joining. Yeah, welcome to our monthly webinar, hosted by terratalent. And this afternoon, we have a very interesting topic, which has been also a national conversation, in Germany in terms of international career. The topic for this time is about the opportunity card. This is a unique kind of visa. So for those people who feel like, okay, you want to come to Germany, but you don't have a job offer, you don't want to come and do studies, but you still want to come to Germany on a long term to maybe look for opportunities and build your career, then this is definitely a webinar for you, because we'll be giving you some overview about the opportunity card, how this can help you in terms of moving to Germany, what are the kind of information you might need, what document is required, what does it even look like. This is something I would recommend for every single person out there who wants to navigate coming to Germany outside studies or outside even getting already a job from his own country. So before I start, I would like to introduce myself. Um, from my accent, you could tell I'm from Nigeria. I've been working with Terra Talent for close to going to 2 years now. I work as a talent consultant and project manager. Prior before now, I have worked in 5 different countries. I did an exchange program in Benin Republic, and then I worked in Cote d'Ivoire, where I was the country director for ISEC. There, I was able to recruit close to 200 interns working in organizations and startups. Then I also worked for 1 year in Tanzania and almost 2 years in Uganda. So currently, I'm building my career in Europe, working in Germany with Terra Talent. At the same time, if you don't know, I'm also a student doing my master's in sustainable international agriculture. So I'm very happy to know all of you. So before I start, I would like us to know who is in the room. Can you go on the chat box, please, and tell us where you are joining from? If possible, you can tell us the city, the country. Are you joining from? I'm joining currently from United States, but I'm based in Germany. So you can just go on the chat box and tell us where you're joining from. You can type the city or the country. If you're from maybe some of our partners like African Leadership University or Moriga School, you can just go on the chat box. Let's see where you're joining from. Hi, Eliasa. Nice to meet you, joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Are you from Mamariga School? There is June from Nairobi, Kenya. Nice to meet you, June. Diana also joining from Kenya. We have a lot of Kenya. Tony from Kenya. Wow, a lot of Kenya. Okay. Zamil also joining from Kenya. Thank you for joining. Oh, yeah, from Moringa School. I think we have a lot of people joining from Moringa School. Okay, where are the Ghanaians? Where are the Rwandans? Where are the Nigerians? Michael joining from Kenya. Okay, there is Siraj all the way from Turkey. Hi, Mambo. There's somebody from Tanzania. That's under my second home. Thank you for joining, Jay, all the way from Dodoma. Finally, we have somebody from Ghana, Eugene joining from Ghana. Okay. Well, I'd like to see more people write in the chat box. We have over 40 people on this call. Isaac Mutiga from Kenya, George from Moringa School, Kenya. We have a lot of people from Kenya. This is very interesting. Yeah, Moringa School is one of our partners, by the way. I was in Kenya, I think last year, June, where I visited Moringa School. So it's good to see a lot of students from Moringa School. Boyani also joining from Kenya. All right, thank you everyone for joining. Without taking time, I would like to go into the section. Next slide. So I'll just give an overview in terms of who we are at Terra Talent, what we are doing. One slide behind. Just want to show them the agenda. Yeah. Then we'll talk about the visa versus resident permit, an overview. Then we go deep dive into the opportunity card. Then next steps. Next slide. So Terra Talent is actually a very young consultancy company. in as much as we are young people, but we have a wealth of experience. Our founder has worked for the city of Berlin for close to 20 years in the area of head of talent, recruiting expatriates for the government of Berlin. And then he resigned his job to found terratalent. So we all are young people in this company, myself from Nigeria. So we have Paul from Ghana. We are very international, and we have Denika, who is from Manchester, United Kingdom. She will also introduce herself as the section continues. And yeah, we have a lot of experiences in international talent acquisition, overseas assignments, exchange between companies in Germany and emerging markets. But at the moment, we focus primarily on expertise in Africa and Asia. But we have a global network. We have a lot of partners across Africa at the moment. One more slide behind. Yeah, just to show you, so some of our partners, we have the African Berlin Tech Network, which I'm also one of the ambassadors. This network is just trying to, bridge the gap between Berlin as an ecosystem and Africa as a continent. We have Black in Tech Berlin, we have terratalent, our big mother company, and other partners, even in Europe, like the Future Place Leadership. If you want to learn about our partners, you can also go on our website. Next slide. Yeah, so you can see we are very connected across Europe. We are we have a lot of connection not only in Africa but also in Europe. So if you're interested in exploring opportunities in Norway, like the Scandinavia, like Denmark or Sweden, even as far as the Netherlands, we are highly connected. Next slide. So we have most, okay, I talked about our partners already, but maybe just to give more insights. We have our corporate partners like the African Berlin Technical I had mentioned. We have Fintiba. So Fintiba is for those people who want to move to Germany, you need what they call a block account. So we have a partnership with Fintiba to make this process very seamless for you in how you can maybe block your account when trying to move abroad. And yes, we have educational partners. As you can see, Moringa School is here. We have TechQuest in Nigeria, Us School in Rwanda and Nigeria. We have Malengo. So for those who are in Uganda who want to, even Kenyans who want to pursue a bachelor's, maybe on scholarship, Malengo is one of our partners. Yeah, they have a program where they support people um, from Uganda and Kenya to fund them to pursue a bachelor's program. So these are some of our partners at the moment. Next slide. So African Berlin Tech Network, I had already shared, is a network that was founded. The idea of this network was to, foster exchange between Africa as a continent and Berlin as a tech hub in Europe. So we have a lot of activities going on, like organizing delegation trips. We are also planning to start a podcast to, bring people from African side to share opportunities for the German side. So this kind of knowledge exchange is what we are trying to do. And we have our targeted countries like Rwanda, Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and of course Kenya. So this is just to give you an overview in terms of our network as African Berlin Tech Network. Next slide. Tunisia is on the way, and don't worry. For now, these are the targeted countries. Yeah, we've gone through a lot of delegation trips. On the picture, can you go a bit? Yeah. On the picture was in Ghana. We visited Cochrane, is a crocodile school in Ghana. We also attended the job fair in Ghana. The other picture was in Rwanda, where we are currently piloting a new project to train data scientists. This is in collaboration with Collaborate. We're trying to train data scientists and see how we can match them for remote jobs in Germany. And then the other picture, you can see me on the face cap and a suit. That was in Rwanda, where we visited Africa Leadership University. And for those asking about the slides, you will have access to the YouTube recording after this section on our page. Next slide. Yes, so I would like to give the floor to the beautiful lady from Manchester, who is my colleague. She will give a deep dive into the opportunity card. So please, if you can pay attention, please pay attention. This is a very important information. And what I would also recommend is if you have questions, you can always post on the chat box. As the section is ongoing, we will try to answer some of the questions. And Dedanika, you have the floor to introduce yourself and take over from here.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for the introduction and for introducing me. Yeah, so as you can tell, as you can see, we have quite a lot of partners. We've done quite a lot of things already, really cool, interesting things. But yeah, just to introduce myself, my name's Danica. I'm from Manchester. So I moved to Germany about 2.5 years ago now. And I've been working here, yeah, again, close to 2 years. And yeah, again, I'm talent mobility consultant here at terratalent. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. So I'm just going to get into the slides. So just to provide like a bit of background into what we are going to be discussing today, the opportunity card, why it came about. It is mainly, yeah, the demographic change in Germany. So you've all probably heard about this already. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere. It's all over Europe. That many countries are facing an ongoing shortage of skilled workers, and this is due mostly to demographic changes. So yeah, as the baby boomer generation retires, the German labour market is going to experience an ongoing labour shortage. So yeah, here it says on the slide around 12.9 million of the economic labour force will reach statutory retirement age in the next 15 years, which is going to make up around 1/7 of the total labour force, which is a pretty like significant number. But as of right now, there are currently around 45.7 million people of working age in Germany. But the estimation, I think, is by 2060, this is going to go around to 40.4 million. So it's quite a big pressing issue. And the next problem, with the obviously the demographic changes is the need for nursing staff. So the problem is already there that there is a shortage of skilled labour in nursing and healthcare as it is. And this is going to really drastically affect and impact this area. Another point not mentioned on here is the apprenticeships. So this is I think last year, there was 35% of positions last year in apprenticeships left unfilled, which impacts the nursing sector quite drastically. I mean, a lot of people who are going into nursing typically do these apprenticeships or dual Ausbildungen. Yeah, the need for skilled workers in pretty much all industries is it's pretty important topic. But yeah, the last point, 400,000 workers are needed per year to fill the gap. So yeah, this is why the Skilled Immigration Act came in and was introduced. I think it says it was introduced in March 2020, and with major reforms in November 2023. So this was in order to make it more flexible for non-European Union professionals. So it's supposed to streamline the process of getting to Germany for non-EU professionals and open more doors, not just for people with university degrees, but also for vocationally trained workers. But just before go into these details, I'm just going to begin by clarifying these two key concepts, so visas and residence permits. So many people use these terms interchangeably, but they do serve different purposes. So the visa is your permission to enter Germany, so your ticket to get in, so to say. It's usually stamped in your passport, obtained by your local embassy or consulate in your home country. or in some cases your neighboring country. So yeah, I mean, once you have to go to an embassy, this is dealing with the issues of visa, because the embassy can only issue visas. It is in some sense like a permit, but it's only like permitting you entry into Germany and is only valid for a very limited amount of time. So in some cases 3 months, 6 months, maybe in some cases maybe up to a year. But the goal is that once you arrive, this visa will be then converted into a residence permit. So then your residence permit is what allows you to stay and work legally in Germany. And this is issued by your local foreigners office. So in German, it's your Ausländerbehörde. This is more long-term, comes with conditions depending on the purpose of your stay. So whether you're coming here to study, whether you're coming here to work, or you're searching for a job, this is when you get your residence permit. So it's just, this is just something to think about. So if you come across these terms, these are the different meanings for them. So just a little bit on what has actually changed in the new immigration law. So as you can see visualized here, the new act is structured around 3 main pillars. So before this system, Germany was mostly focused on like the highly skilled workers. So your typical engineer, your typical software engineer who is coming and applying for the EU Blue Card. But now we're seeing that, there are more opportunities available for those who may not have a formal education, but they have a lot of work experience, for example. And so we're seeing that, people with work experience may also be welcome, people with vocational training. So it's not only limited to those with a formal degree. So and also the people that maybe had the potential to become like this talented, skilled worker. Here is the potential pillar. So the second and third pillars, essentially, these are pretty new, and these are much more elaborate than before. I mean, before these changes, it was pretty much impossible to come to Germany without a recognized university degree. But now, it's becoming more open to people with more various backgrounds and experiences. Another good thing about these new changes is that they lowered the threshold for the European Union Blue Card, so the minimum salary threshold. So it used to be, I think it was around 56,000 euros, but it's now been lowered to 48,000 euros. So it's pretty big drop. But then there's also the European Union Blue Card for bottleneck professions. So these professions that are experiencing major shortages. So you can obtain a blue card if you're working in this, if you have a work contract in these professions with an annual gross salary of almost 44,000 euros. I think it's 43,700, something like that. So if you if you're interested in that and you want to get updates on the different salary thresholds, then these numbers are published annually by the Federal Ministry of Interior. So this is something you're interested in, and that's where you can find more information. But so here you can see on the slides the 4 main residence options for skilled workers in Germany. So these are arranged from, say, the most structured contract-based routes to the more flexible pathways. So it's essentially 2 doors. So the first door is that you have a work contract already and you have agreed on salary. So many people in this situation would probably would like to go for the EU Blue Card, because it's much more flexible, say when it comes to language requirements or family reunification. And of course, they're the EU Blue Card for shortage applications. And there is the option there as well for, say, the people that don't fulfill the requirements for the blue card. There is the regular work permit there too. So this is a bit broader. It doesn't require the same salary levels, but it is an option for those with job offers, say, in non-shortage occupations, and for, say, skilled migrants whose qualifications match the role offered. So these are typically valid only for up to 2 years. And again, a job offer is required before you apply. The second door is, say, if you don't have a work contract on hand right now, this is the opportunity card route. So which, like I said, it was basically almost impossible to come to Germany without a degree. But the third pillar, so the potential pillar that we just mentioned, is making it a little bit more possible. So to zoom in on that pillar, the potential pillar. So what is the opportunity card? So there it says it's a residence permit that allows workers from third countries to enter Germany in order to seek employment. So I mean, it doesn't only have to be used to seek employment. It can also be used to search for measures to recognise your foreign professional qualifications in Germany. So say if you're coming here, and we'll go on to the points system in a moment. Say if you don't have the right amount of points, so say your qualification is only partially recognised, or you need to you need to go through the process of getting your qualification recognised, you can also come on the opportunity card to get these things done. So it is issued for a maximum of 1 year, and here is a quite important point. It's provided that the holder is able to support themselves for that period. So I'm going to go through the language requirements and the point system in a moment. But yeah, so there is a point system. There it says, and this is used to determine whether you are eligible based on your qualifications, knowledge, and circumstances, and your language skills are also sometimes considered. So yeah, I'll go on to this in a moment. But first, who is eligible? So there are 2 different ways you can obtain an opportunity card. So on the left, we have the so-called skilled worker option, and this skilled worker is someone who either has a qualification obtained in Germany, or they have a foreign qualification that is fully recognized in Germany. So now the recognition process is something that we could definitely do a whole webinar on. But in basic terms, it's just the process of checking if your foreign qualification obtained in a third country is equivalent to the German counterpart. So one example is someone who has, in a case of non-academic vocational qualifications or qualifications in regulated professions, for example. So this is, say, people who doctors or people in medicine, they would need to go through the formal recognition process. So yeah, so it is legally required to have a professional recognition in these regulated professions. So doctors, yeah, medicine, veterinary, I can't say this word. Yeah, so these kind of professions, it is a legal requirement. But for, say, non-regulated professions, like computer scientists, for example, you just need a statement of comparability. So this is, this is a huge topic. So this is something that, yeah, we could go into this for a whole hour in itself. But in the case of non-regulated professions, these are typically people who have academic qualifications. It needs to be proven that they have a positive rating in the ANABIN database. So this means that your qualification or your institution has a H+ rating. So it's not on this slide, but perhaps in a moment I can put the ANABIN, or one of my colleagues who are in the call can put the ANABIN link. So there is where you can find your statement of comparability, and you can see if your degree institution is recognized in Germany. So in summary, option 1 is essentially means that you have a qualification that is fully recognized, and if that is the case for you, then you are eligible to apply for the opportunity card. But yeah, I mean, this is just one hurdle. I mean, in the next slides, we're going to go through the points, the bot account. There are still some hurdles. So, I mean, but this is a good first point to have. The second option is for those who don't have a fully recognized foreign qualification. And this is the scoring system. So this is what we're going to go through in a moment. I'm going to give you a in-depth overview of the points. But this is basically to obtain an opportunity card through this route. You need 6 points. And here are some of the basic requirements. So the first is a state recognized qualification. So whether a foreign academic degree or a non-academic vocational qualification, and this academic vocational qualification has to have been for at least 2 years duration, recognized by the country in which it was obtained. So, or it's a non-academic qualification issued by a German Chamber of Commerce abroad. So these are the different qualifications. So to find out whether your foreign qualification is recognized by the state in which you obtained it, you need an assessment of the ZAB. So this is the Central Office for Foreign Education. So this is a different procedure to the statement of comparability, but I'm not going to get into that now because we won't have the time. But all you need to know is to find out if your qualification is recognized in the country of origin. You have to contact the ZAB for that. Your second basic requirement is the language requirement. And here you have 2 options. So you can either prove your German language at least A1 or English at B2. So I'm going to assume pretty much everyone in this chat can understand English, so it would probably be easier to go for the English option. And the final basic requirement, is 6 points in the scoring system. So to go into the point system, you need to, as discussed already, you need your 6 points to be eligible for the opportunity card. So one option is you get the full 6 points if you have a recognized university degree or qualification. So 6 points if it's fully recognized and 4 points if it's partially recognized. So depending on which industry you have a qualification in, you can obtain yet another point if it's in a shortage occupation or a profession that's essentially in demand. So some examples, like I mentioned already, these are physicians, nurses, IT specialists, for example. There it says you can acquire up to 3 points if you have work experience that matches your formal qualifications. 2 points will be awarded if you can demonstrate that you have at least 2 years experience within the last 5 years, or you can receive 3 points if you have at least 5 years experience within the last 7 years. So it's so silly and complex. There's so many different rules to this, but yeah, I mean, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to come back to these slides later on. Another point there, so being a certain age also can get you 2 points. So 2 points if you're 35 or younger, 1 point if you are between the ages of 36 and 40 years old. As discussed already, language skills are a basic requirement of the opportunity card, and depending on your level, you can acquire up to 4 points. So you don't get any points if your German is at an A1 level, but you start receiving points once it reaches A2 and beyond. So with 1 extra point being gained with each level. So yeah, so A2, 1 point, B1 is 2 points, B2 or above is 3 points. And then an additional point is awarded, so making 4 points if you have English at level C1 or above. Your previous stays in Germany can also get you points. So if you have lived in Germany before for a continuous period of at least 6 months, in the last 5 years, I think it is, you receive 1 point. And examples of these kinds of stays, this is, say, if you came here to study, or you did like a language exchange, or you came to work, but tourism stays don't count, I'm afraid. And the skilled worker potential of spouses or life partners can also get you a point. So if your partner meets the requirements for an opportunity card, you will be awarded 1 point. But yeah, there are many, as we're going to come up to next, quite some bureaucratic and financial hurdles to consider. So no matter which route you take to obtain the opportunity card, whether that be the option 1 as a skilled worker, whether fully recognised qualification, or option 2 at the point system, you need to prove that you have sufficient financial resources. So and this is to fund your job search in Germany. Sorry. So during the visa process, you can demonstrate your financial means with a blocked account or a Sperrkonto. And this has to contain a minimum of 1,027 euros per month for the duration of your stay. So this means, for example, if you're here to stay for 6 months, then you have to have, let's say, 6,162 euros in a blocked account. If you want to stay for 1 year, which is the limit of the opportunity card, this is like 12,300 euros. So this is the main hurdle really when it comes to the opportunity card, because most people who most people don't have that kind of money sitting around, or able to have that kind of money just sitting in a blocked account, and they would probably use it for, if they did, they would probably use it for other things. But if this there, I need to mention the Fintiba. So Kenny already mentioned it at the beginning. So Fintiba, you can open a blocked account with Fintiba, and we have a partnership now with Fintiba. So this is essentially, we can kind of streamline the process for you. Opening a blocked account does not have to be difficult, and we can help you through it. But at the end, I'm going to go through the different services that we can offer to support you anyway. So yeah, you can keep Fintiba in mind. But the other option is the declaration of commitment. And this is this has to be submitted by people living in Germany to a foreigner's authority. So this declaration obliges the sponsor to guarantee the financial support of the visa applicant during a stay in Germany. So yeah, I mean, this is a bit more of a straightforward option than the blocked account option, but it does come with risks. So if, say, for example, the sponsor potentially incurs thousands in costs, such as like maybe health expenses, then yeah, these are then on behalf of the visa applicant, and then the sponsor would then incur these costs. So it is a big risk. It requires a lot of trust, and yeah, so it's kind of crucial to make sure that the sponsor is fully aware of these financial risks. But there is a third option, and this is a statement of employment. So the opportunity card, in comparison to the job seeker visa, which I'm going to discuss in just a couple of slides, this allows you to work part-time in one or more jobs, but totaling only 20 hours per week. So if you already have a part-time work contract at the time of your visa application, this can be submitted as proof of sufficient financial means. So as part of the opportunity card, here it says that you are able to participate in tryout periods, but these can be no more than 2 weeks duration. So these trials have to be in line with your qualification, and they have to be aimed towards starting a vocational training or be connected to a training measure according to your partial recognition training. So this is another option for those who, if the blocked account on the declaration of commitment options are a bit too difficult, there is this option, but I'm going to go back over this in a couple more slides. So what's next? So you've been in Germany for 1 year. You've reached the limit of your permit. So then, what are the options for next steps? So here at the side, you can change your opportunity card into any one of these residence cards, as long as you fulfill the basic requirements of the permit. So if you've been searching for a job during your stay and you have finally found qualified employment, then you can apply for the EU Blue Card or the visa for skilled workers, the visa for professionally experienced workers, or in the case where the employment you have found does not fulfill the conditions of any of these work permits, there is the option of extending your opportunity card for up to 2 years. But of course, I mean, we would hope, of course, that I mean, it is the goal. If you're coming with the opportunity card, is the goal to either find a job or find a study. But if this doesn't happen, then you can extend your opportunity card permit up to 2 years. So if you decide during your time here that you would like, for example, to change routes, and you don't want to search for a job in that profession anymore, so say, I don't know, you wanted to go into IT, but then you wanted to then move to nursing or something, then you can switch to the visa for vocational training, but only if you have a concrete vocational training position. So this is also the case if you would like to pursue a master's. So if you already have a bachelor and you've been searching for a job, but you decide you would like to study more, then the study visa for purpose of obtaining a master's here in Germany is also an option. But again, you must fulfill the conditions of this visa. So you have to already have an offer from the university for a specific study program, just as normal. The same applies for the visa for recognition of foreign qualifications. So in Germany, it's possible, I mentioned this earlier on, it's possible for those who have partial recognition of their qualifications to come to Germany to take further qualifications in order to get the full recognition of their qualification. So for example, if you come to Germany and with the opportunity card, and you've obtained the opportunity card through the point system with a partially recognised qualification, but you decide you want to make your qualification fully recognised, then you can change your opportunity card into this visa. But this is an interesting option. But the last option is the visa for self-employment. So if you're able to become self-employed during your time in Germany with the opportunity card, then this would be for you. So there are lots of different options. So if you're coming here with the opportunity card, there are many different options for different routes for what to do afterwards once you've finished your time on it. So just to compare the opportunity card and the job seeker visa. So for those of you who may already have some kind of basic understanding of the different visas or permits available, may be thinking, well, what's the point of the opportunity card when a job seeker visa exists? The short answer is that the opportunity card has a more lenient eligibility criteria than the job seeker visa. So for example, with regards to qualifications, the job seeker visa requires that you have a full recognised degree or vocational training in Germany, whereas already discussed with the opportunity card, this allows a partially recognised qualification as part of its point system. The language requirements are also different. So for the job seeker visa, you have to submit a level of B1 in German if you have vocational training. And yeah, and another point is if you're searching for vocational training, you have to submit a B2. So for the opportunity card, it's much more lenient. So minimum A1 in German, minimum A2 if you want to start acquiring points, or a B2 in English. So here this or in here is very important, because if you have the English requirement, the German isn't necessary. The visa duration is also different. So for the job seeker visa, you're limited to 6 months, whereas as discussed, with the opportunity card, you have up to 1 year, and you can extend it for an extra 2 years. But this is, of course, depending on if you can fulfill the financial means condition. For both, so this is for both the job seeker visa and the opportunity card, you need to show a proof of funds. But with the job seeker visa, you're not allowed to work, and the opportunity card, you are, for up to 20 hours per week. And this can be used as a proof of financial means at the point of application. So here you can see that this is the opportunity card minimum requirement per month. So this is 1,027 euros per month. But the minimum wage in Germany is 12.82 euros per hour. So here this is like kind of a visualization of showing that if you are working 20 hours per week on a minimum salary, you would meet the minimum financial requirement of the opportunity card. So many people who do come on the opportunity card do go for this option. So there are many people working in industries like, say, delivery drivers or food delivery drivers, or working in warehouses, say Amazon, for example, or DHL. These kinds of jobs. So these kinds of companies are always offering these 20-hour per week jobs, and many people that do come on the opportunity card do go for this go through this route. So there, just so you know. But on our website, we do have an opportunity card calculator, which you can find on the home page. So there at the top, I've put like a red circle around where you can find it. And here you can put in so your nationality, your language skills, your work experience, qualifications, etc., etc. And here you can find out if you are eligible. So this is one example. So this is someone if they have a fully recognised qualification. So this is, you can find this out, say, on Anabin. Then so here it says I am a professional qualification holder. My qualification is fully recognised in Germany. Automatic 6 points. Then you're eligible. So as long as you can fulfil the other requirements, then this part is already pretty much sorted. And this is an example of someone who perhaps doesn't acquire enough points. So they have a vocational training. Here it says that is partially recognised. This provides them with 4 points. And then they have 2 years experience, but at the end, they don't have the basic language requirement. So they have an A1 in German and a B1 in English. This doesn't meet the basic conditions, and so they wouldn't qualify. So then this would be like something like you then go and do, like I say, an English exam, for example, to improve your B2, or if you fill in like any skills gaps with like some vocational training, and then that would bring the points up. So to finish off, I mean, we often see like online the pros of the opportunity card. It's often marketed and promoted by the government. In particular, is this, this shiny new thing. It makes it super easy for skilled workers to come to Germany. But I mean, as we can see, there are still quite significant hurdles. So this slide is titled the Flop Karte. This is from an interesting article I was reading from the Bild Zeitung. And the article was titled Job Karte or Flop Karte, which is, I mean, quite amusing, but in some respects it can be considered a flop card. And maybe some people would maybe like the opportunity card, some people would think, yeah, this is a complete flop. So just at the bottom, there are some numbers. So coming up to the end of 2024, only just under 2,560 applications. So this is only averaging around 590 applications per month, which had been received. And this is significantly lower than the expected 2,500 applications per month, which would have totaled 10,000 by the end of 2024. So, I mean, in recent months, the opportunity card is coming up more and more in conversation now. I feel like it is something that more people are learning about now. I think maybe at the beginning, not a lot of people knew about it or fully understood what it was. But I think it's definitely, I think more people are applying now. But of course, coming up to the end of 2024, it was still, it could have been considered a flop. And this is, due to the different things that I've just mentioned. So there are too many regulations. The law is exceedingly complex. The process is still really long. So like from the very beginning, having your qualifications recognized, this is a huge process in itself. Having the financial means. So if you're looking at a long period of time before even getting the card, and even then, once you've got all of your documents together, then you start the application process. So there's too many there in the middle. It says too many involved institutions. So this is your long waiting times at the German consulates, for example, or the welcome culture, the German language as the official administrative language. So in some ways, of course, there are some upsides to it. Of course, compared to the job search visa, there are some upsides, but could it actually be really considered an easier option? But like I said, there is a growing interest, and of course, with this actually getting here, if you don't have the recognized qualifications, it does make this a bit easier for people to actually just get on the ground. I think more often than not, it's if you're searching for a job, for example, it's easier to be on the ground and search for a job than be somewhere in East Africa, South Africa, for example, or Asia, South America, and apply from there. So of course it has its positives and negatives. But then this is going back to the skilled worker pillar. So for this pillar, so say if the opportunity card is too complicated, then it is the two doors options that I mentioned before. So going through the door where you have a work contract already. So for this pillar, the skilled worker pillar, there are two central legal bases for residence permits for skilled workers with vocational training or skilled workers holding a university degree. And these have also been amended, so and been made a bit more lenient. So first, applicants will now be entitled to a residence permit if all requirements are met. And this is part of the must regulation, which is stated there. So before these amendments, it was based on a can or may decision. So say, for example, you would submit your application and then the authority would they could just approve the application. They can approve the application or not. And yeah, they could just use any kind of random reason why they would reject. But now, as part of these changes, as part of the skilled worker pillar for the blue card, it is a must regulation. So you fulfill the requirements, the German authorities must approve your application. Another one of the pain points of the old legislation was that you was restricted to working in a job that was related to your qualification. So, for example, if you wanted to work in IT, but your degree was in languages, this would be grounds to reject your application as well. But this sticking point has now been removed. So you're not restricted to just jobs only relating to your qualification and looking for employment. So this is for the EU Blue Card. So yeah, as long as you have a degree and the company says they accept your CV and a salary contract has been agreed on, then the authorities typically follow that. But yeah, as mentioned already as well, the regular work permit. So this is for people who maybe don't fulfill the requirements for the EU Blue Card. And this is for people that don't have a work contract in a shortage occupation, or their salary is below 41. That's out of date now. I think it's 43,000 euros in 2025. But for the regular work permit, you are limited. I think it's up to 2 years for this one. But yeah, but these are the other options if the opportunity card isn't for you. So I think I was seeing some things in the chat already. But yeah, so as I mentioned before, these are the talent services, our talent services. So of course, we know that a lot of these processes are quite complex. They're difficult to wrap your head around, and we often get people coming to us all the time, asking lots of questions, and often with a lot of, there is a lot of confusion surrounding a lot of these subjects. So here, this is our website and our contact details there, and a QR code. So we can support with like all of these different issues. So they're understanding Germany, job search strategies, application support, visa and legal requirements, and masters and scholarship application support. So we know that, I mean, Germany is a very bureaucratic nation, and there just seems to be a lot of bureaucratic hurdles at every single step. So it's not just a simple application. You have to go through multiple different steps to get to anywhere. So we do have the talent services here, and this is a point with the Fintiba that I wanted to come back to. So this is for opening a blocked account, for example. We can support you through that. So if you want to open a blocked account, we can now also support you on that too. But yeah, that's basically everything. I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a lot of it's probably too much, but of course I think people were already asking if they could have the slides, because of course, I mean, there's a lot of information on the slides and I gave a lot of information, so I hope it wasn't too too exhausting for you, but if anyone has any questions, you can write them in the chat and I can try and answer them. But of course, there we also have the talent email, talent@terratalent.de. So this is like an email. So if you have questions about your specific situation, then you can definitely contact us through there. There is no age limit for a nursing Ausbildung. So yeah, you can do the Ausbildung whenever you want. That's I'm gonna have a scroll through to see if there are other questions, but I think Paul has been answering them. Yeah, but yeah, if there aren't any questions, I hope that's been I hope it's been informative. So how can one confirm if their institution is recognized? So this depends on if you have a academic qualification or if you have a vocational qualification. So if I try to find a slide, I think it was quite early on. So if you have an academic qualification, you can go on Anabin. This is if I can find the links in a moment, but Anabin is where you can find your institution and your degree. And this is like a huge database with all the different courses and degrees and qualifications, institutions, and here you can find if your institution and qualification is recognized. So you go in and it's thank you, Paul, for the link. So you go in and on the home page you can put your qualification or your institution. I think it's on the left-hand side. And there you can put like the country in which you obtained your qualification, search the university where you got it, and then here's where you can find if your institution and course is recognized. So it would come up with a H+ if it's recognized, H- if it isn't recognized, and sometimes you can get the H+/-. So this means that some particular courses at this particular institution are recognized, but not all of them. So for this, you would then have to submit another application to find if sometimes they list the actual courses that are recognized, most of the time they do. But if someone hasn't already submitted a recognition application for this institution already, then you would have to do that yourself. For the vocational qualification, that's on this one. So here you would have to go to the ZAB. So this is the Central Education Authority. And there you would have to get an assessment there, and they can tell you if your qualification is recognised or not. I think for the application, I think it costs around €150, so it's not cheap. But this is and it's unfortunate but necessary kind of thing. So I hope that answered the question. Okay, I'm just going to quickly read in here. What are the platforms where you can find a work contract? So if you're meaning the platforms where you can to find a job, there are a lot of job search platforms. We actually already have a webinar on our YouTube and going talking about job search, and I think at the end of May we have a job search webinar. So this is like where you can find out about the job search platforms, but I mean the main ones, say for example like Zing or Stepstone, but I mean there are lots of specific ones if you want to go into specific industries. I know the Bundesagentur für Arbeit. You can also find jobs on there. So this is the Federal Employment Agency website, and on there you can also look at certain industries as well. So if you want to go into like IT, or you want to go into logistics, or you want to go into healthcare, you can put this onto the website. And the financial qualification, do you need the €1,027 at the time of stay, or a job that offers that? When you mentioned Germany's minimum wage, okay. So this is at the point of application. So when you're applying for the opportunity card, you have to already have this job contract. But this is for the 20 hours per week. So this is just to fulfill your financial obligation. So the €1,027 per month is what you need. So if you're going to open a blocked account, then this means you're €12,000 for the year. But the loophole is that if you have the 20 hours per week, say working for Amazon, For example, this is not where you're going to stay forever, but this is your, say, minimum wage job that you can use to fulfill this financial requirement, but you have to have the work contract at the point of application. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, good. So yeah, so that's the hour. So I'm going to end it there. Kenny's popped back on the screen. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for coming. There's quite a few of you today, and thank you for the questions. And it was really cool at the beginning to see where everyone was coming from. So a lot of people from Kenya, which was really cool. But yeah, I don't know if Kenny wanted to add something.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Danica. I think that was a very insightful section. So I think this is really cool opportunity because sometimes many people don't know it's actually easier to be on the ground when you are in Germany to access these opportunities, right? Sometimes getting hired directly from Africa might be very complicated, but if you're on ground with the opportunity card, you can already even start integrating by taking the language classes, and then you can take in a part-time job with Amazon or, doing some of these jobs, depending on when you get a skill job offer. So the opportunity card is just a different route, and the process is even much more faster because not so many people are taking this route. So it's something that if you want to explore, we highly recommend this, but just make sure you have your block account. Is what's the investment. Germany has a lot of opportunities. The point system is very clear. You just have to have a university degree or a vocational degree, and then you can add up everything. So yeah, it's pretty much straight to the point, and I think Dedanica has done great justice. So if you need support on how to proceed, you can just reach out to our talent services, and then we can see how we can support you from there. I think the website is there, and the email is there. Yeah, so you can reach us at terratalent.de, or you can also reach us on that number, and Paul is directly in charge of this channel. You can also scan the QR code. Yeah, the QR code is on the screen. You can scan it. So thank you everyone for joining. I don't know, Paul, you
Kenny,
wanted
can I
to add
say
something?
something?
Yeah,
Paul
sure,
wants to
sure.
add something.
Yeah.
So you will all shortly receive an email with a recording, a link to the recording, and then a link also to the slides for those asking. So in the next few hours, I think you should all receive that in your email. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you everyone for joining from Kenya, from Nigeria, Rwanda, Ghana. Bye everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Yeah, I will end the call now.